He sat facing the wall for 63 days. Not because he was aggressive, not because he was broken, but because he was waiting for someone who was never coming back. His name was Oliver. He was 11 years old, and the man he had loved for over a decade was gone. Every morning, the shelter staff opened his cage. Every morning, he turned his back to the world. Every morning, they noted his age on the clipboard and said nothing, because they already knew what that number meant. But nobody knew that Oliver wasn't just waiting to be chosen, he was waiting to be understood. And on a Thursday afternoon in April, someone finally walked through that door. To understand why this moment mattered so much, we have to go back to the beginning. Oliver had belonged to a man named Gerald. Gerald was 74 years old, a retired schoolteacher who lived alone at the end of a quiet street. No children who visited, no wife anymore, just Oliver, and the kind of life that builds slowly, year after year. For 11 years, Oliver slept at the foot of Gerald's bed every single night. He sat beside him every morning while Gerald read the newspaper. He watched from the window each evening while Gerald cooked dinner for two, one plate for himself, one small bowl on the floor. They did not need words. They had something better, presence, the kind that builds so slowly you never notice it until it is gone. And then, one February morning, Gerald did not get up. The neighbors called for help. The paramedics came. Oliver sat in the hallway the entire time, perfectly still, watching the door they carried Gerald out through. He did not move from that spot for 3 days. When the relatives came to sort through the house, nobody knew what to do with the cat. One nephew made a call. "He's 11 years old," the intake worker said carefully. "We'll try." Oliver arrived at the shelter on a Tuesday afternoon. He did not hiss, he did not fight. He simply walked into the kennel, turned in a slow circle, lay down and faced the wall. The staff noted his age. They noted that he was grieving. They did not note his chances because they already knew what those were. An 11-year-old cat in a public shelter is not a placement problem. It is a countdown. Most people walking into shelters are looking for kittens, young, full of possibility. They are not looking for an old tabby who sits with his back to the world, staring at the wall like he is waiting for someone who will never come. For 9 weeks, that is exactly what he did. He waited. Families came on Saturdays. They admired the kittens tumbling in the front enclosures. They smiled, asked questions, filled out forms, and walked right past him. Every single time. The volunteers tried. They would open his cage slowly, speak softly, offer a hand. Some days he would glance up. Most days he would not. Still in that quiet house, still waiting by the door, still loyal to a man the world had already moved on from. But what happened next would change everything. On a Thursday afternoon in April, a woman named Margaret walked through the shelter door. She was 68 years old, a music teacher for 31 years. Her husband Thomas had passed away 7 months earlier. The house they had shared for 40 years had been unbearably quiet ever since. She was not ready for a kitten. She wanted something that understood quiet. The volunteer walked her through the main room first. Kittens tumbled over each other in the enclosures. Margaret smiled politely and kept walking. "Is there anything in the back?" she asked. The volunteer hesitated. "There's one, 11 years old, lost his owner recently." Margaret stopped. "Show me," she said. She stood outside Oliver's cage for a long time. He had his back to her, the way he had his back to everyone. She did not tap the glass. She just stood there quietly, the way you stand beside someone at a graveside. And after a few quiet minutes, Oliver turned his head. He looked at her, not through her, but directly at her. Those pale green eyes, steady and serious, found her face and held it. The volunteer started to say something. Margaret held up one hand. "I'll take him," she said. She did not ask about his behavior. She did not ask whether he would adjust. She simply recognized something in his face that she already knew inside her own chest. He was not broken. He was just someone who had loved and lost. Little did she know, this was only the beginning of what Oliver would do for her. I see you still haven't subscribed. Honestly, that breaks my heart. If this story is already moving you, hit that button right now. Every subscriber tells us these stories matter. The first week was hard. Oliver moved through the house slowly, room by room, the way you move through a place you are deciding whether to trust. He ate. He slept on the spare bedroom floor. He did not come to Margaret, and she did not force him. She left food where he could find it. She kept the lights low. She played soft music from Thomas's old record player. And then, on the 8th night, at exactly 11:43 p.m., she felt the cushion beside her shift. Oliver had jumped up. He did not curl against her. He sat at the far end of the armchair, facing the window, and they both looked out at the quiet street together. Neither of them moved for a long time. Margaret did not cry. She just breathed. And somewhere in that quiet, something loosened in her chest that had been knotted tight for 7 long months. The weeks turned into months. Oliver began sleeping at the foot of her bed. He appeared in the kitchen each morning, loyal, patient, simply there. He was always in the same spot when she came back. One afternoon, she caught herself humming while she made tea. Oliver was on the windowsill, sun warm on his back. His tail moved slowly, like something that no longer had anywhere urgent to be. She felt for the first time in months that the house was not empty. It was inhabited. What they found would stay with her for the rest of her life. One evening in early winter, Margaret felt a tightness in her chest. She sat down on the kitchen floor, not sure she should stand back up. Her phone was on the counter, too far away. Oliver appeared from the hallway. He walked directly to her, something he had never done before. He always waited to be approached. He pushed his head hard against her hand. He stayed, and then he meowed, once, sharp and insistent. Then again. Her neighbor said later she heard a cat crying in a way she never had before. She could not explain why she knocked. She just had. The doctor said it was a warning, a serious one, caught early enough to matter. Margaret recovered fully. When she came home from the hospital, Oliver was waiting in the front window. He did not cry when she walked in. He simply dropped from the sill, walked to her feet, and sat down. That was enough. That was everything. From that moment on, they were never apart. Oliver is 13 years old now. He sleeps on Margaret's pillow every single night. He still watches the window in the mornings, but he no longer looks lost. He looks like someone who finally knows where he belongs. There is a kind of love that does not announce itself. It does not ask to be noticed. It just shows up, quietly, steadily, in the places where everything else has gone silent. Oliver did not stay because he was trained to. He stayed because that is all he had ever known how to do. Some bonds do not begin with fireworks. They begin with 2 grieving souls sitting quietly in the same room and breathing. If you walked into that shelter on that Thursday afternoon, would you have stopped for Oliver or kept walking like everyone else? Tell me in the comments.